Hello, my name is Daniel Payton, and welcome to the new podcast we got starting up over here called Game Time Review, GTR for short. Over here we're going to be talking about NBA and football, two main sports that I like and I enjoy watching. I have some pretty good general knowledge of, so it's easy to talk about for me. Um, Starting off, the topics I'm going to be discussing today is the Ben Simmons topic and how Philly and that problem. We're going to be talking about later on tonight the NBA schedule and how the NBA should fare out, how I think it's going to fare out, on my predictions of it. And then we're going to talk about, we're going to just talk about that to get right into it. So, to get right into it, starting off with this Ben Simmons problem and Ben Simmons talk and all this, I'm tired of hearing about this Ben Simmons talk because it's so long. This all started last season in the playoffs, or what happened when Ben Simmons and the Sixers just did, Lord, a phenomenal job of not making it and shouldn't have beat the Atlanta Hawks. Should have beat the Atlanta Hawks. Simple as that. Ben Simmons apparently is not playing game one. He's suspended for having a cell phone in practice. Cell phone in practice, you get suspended for it. Feel like it's not a problem because it's not a problem, but it's a problem because it's Ben Simmons. The only time it's a problem because it's a player who wants out. And when you're a player who wants out of an organization or just out of anything in general, they'll try to find the most tedious ways to get you annoyed or, ticked off. All that good stuff. So I feel like this little game one suspension is just saying, hey, Ben Simmons, this is a business. Since you're acting like it's a business, we're going to treat it like a business. If you're not going to follow our rules, we're going to suspend you. I'm not sure if the suspension is without a pay. So they'll find out. We'll find out later this week if he got paid for that game or not. But anyways, with that Ben Simmons fiasco over there in Philly, makes me think about how's the season going to play out. A lot of things can happen this season. Again, Ben Simmons is the big part of what could happen this season. Damian Lillard is one of them. Bradley Beal, all these players, all these big time players are really going to affect this season, how it plays out, from standings from number 1 to number 10. So number 1 to the play-in, to trade deadline, to free agency. So this season it's like the excited part of the year where it's like, let's go, let's get it. With Ben Simmons, I feel like, and this is the last time I'm going to talk on this Ben Simmons situation because it's just a brief thing. With Ben Simmons, I feel like he needs out. Philly needs to trade him. Philly should get back something decent, even though his trade value plummeted. Ben Simmons is still a great player, DPOI candidate, great facilitator, great rebounder, even a great offensive player. He just doesn't shoot. And with this non-shooting and him not being aggressive, when he's aggressive, and I feel like people will mix this up, when he's aggressive, he's 15 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists. That is pretty good with elite defense. That's good, like, for any player. But I feel like the caliber of Ben Simmons, people want him to be something that people think he should be, which is a 20-point per game scorer with a jumper, slowly develop, like a Giannis type mode, slowly getting better every year. And I feel like that's not Ben right now. Ben is still young. With this narrative of he never comes back getting better any season, or he always comes back slower, doesn't make sense. He comes back every year with something. Even if it's in quality and defense, improving in his defense to be a DPOI candidate this year, playmaking, improving fast break situations, half court, trying to be a better player. And I feel like he is. So I can't discredit him for being mad and wanting out after what happened, after Ben Simmons' drama, the Sixers, how Doc Rivers, all that. You can't blame the guy. Your teammate's supposed to have your back. And if they don't have your back, and then suddenly you like, why should I play here if they don't have my back? And if these are the people who I said I'm gonna ride with, then don't ride with me. Why should I have them back? And I feel like that's a great reason why Ben Simmons should leave, and the Sixers should let go of him. And I feel like that makes sense. Them trying to scramble to see, oh, we're not gonna be as good without Ben Simmons now. Of course you're not. Of course you're not. Now you're trying to recover, trying to get the blowback. Even though he showed up to practice, he didn't participate after the practice with the huddle and all that. He's literally there so he doesn't get fined, which is 100% agree with him. You get your money. No matter what, this is a business. You get your money. They be able to do whatever they want, so you do whatever you want. You get your money, come in, do what you need to do, leave. That's how it's supposed to be, business, and that's how it is for the Sixers. And finally, to talk about this Ben Simmons situation, it doesn't make sense for how good the Sixers team is going to be. Like I said, they're going to suck without Simmons. When I mean suck, they're not going to be number 1 seed, number 2 or 3, where people are projecting them without Ben Simmons. With Ben Simmons, they're top 3. Without Ben Simmons, they're bottom 4 to 8. Joel Embiid, depends on how healthy he is to play series. If you take that next step of, I'm tired of seeing a 20-point per game score, you better be 23, 24. I'm paying you to be that type of player. It's time for you to be that type of player. No more 20-point per games. He's playing good for this contract. He needs to play elite for that contract. We go to Steph Curry, showed out in the playoffs, showed that he can be a bucket. We need that regular season now. We need you to start pushing the 20. What you're pushing 17 right now, we need to start pushing to 20. We need somebody else to take that load that Ben Simmons is not going to be there. Because as good as Ben Simmons is, the Sixers are that good without him and with him. Offensively, they're better without him. Even though Ben Simmons is a great playmaker, dynamic, gets people open. If you have Tyrese Maxey starting, you can live without Ben Simmons' offense. Because Tyrese Maxey, Shake Milton, Danny Green, they're going to get offense. Where they're going to struggle is defense. And you can make up for Ben Simmons. Defensively, he's an elite player defensively. So they're going to struggle. They're not going to be trash. They're not going to be a play-in team. But they're not going to be a top 3 seed. They're going to be that mid-tier 4th, 5th seed. Might have home court, might not. But that's the impact of Ben Simmons, that value of having him versus having not him. So Philly needs to figure out that fast. They might want to figure out before trade deadline. They might want to figure out before 3 months into the season. Do I feel like they're going to figure it out? Yes. I think that's enough on that Ben Simmons topic. They got to figure it out, as simple as that. Now, moving on to my predictions, which I like the time for me to predict what's going on in the NBA. So first, we're going to talk about my standings and what I have for the NBA standings, where I feel teams are going to be at beginning right now to the end of the season. So the standings of how I feel like teams are going to fare out. Right here, I'm going to give the standings, how I feel like they're going to finish. I want to give a brief summary of where they are. Some teams are going to get longer than others. For example, the Heat is going to be longer because they got more additions than, for say, the Nets. So, talking about the Nets, hey, the number 1 seed in the East, the Nets. I don't think this is a lot to explain. The Nets are a very, very dangerous team. Probably the best team in the league. Without or with Kyrie. We've seen what KD is about. We know what KD is about. KD is that number 1, number 2 guy, depending on who you ask, the best player in the league. James Harden is a top 6, depending on who you ask. Again, those two and how dynamic that team's offense can be. And you really given a chance to say, James Harden, we're running through you. And it's different from Houston to now because James Harden has the best supporting cast he ever had. When KD is your best player on your team, this is the best supporting cast you will ever have. Again, with or without Kyrie, I feel like this is better suit James Harden without Kyrie, so he doesn't worry about, I got to get Kyrie involved, because Kyrie Irving, dominant player, box office superstar. Star, basically. Superstar, not really. Star, box office. You know what I mean. Kyrie, really, offense is really like rhythm, as in I need the ball in my hands to go off. He can play off the ball, but he's better with the ball in his hands, breaking down and defending and all that nice stuff. So this gives the fact of James Harden to give more free flowing to KD, to Blake Griffin, the piece they added, Paul Millsap. All them guys are going to be important from the long 82 game season. I don't think people know that. This team is so deep and it's top heavy too, but it's very deep. So this team is going to be great in the regular season because they got players to throw out. They don't have to KD go win us a game, James Harden go win us a game. A lot of players on a lot of other teams have to have that best player to win them a game or a lot of games. This team doesn't. So I feel like they're going to cruise through. Still number one, but they're going to cruise through and I'm going to be worried. My number two, right behind them, I don't know how you can't say is defending champs Milwaukee Bucks, who have to defend their title. The champs, Giannis, Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday. What else I gotta say? Giannis showed that he can win. He is a winner. Dominance. And Giannis is not the person who back down, who's going to relax. Yeah, they showed that they can win. They don't have to be the foot on the gas, but Giannis doesn't do that. Giannis is going to play like he hasn't won. That's why I'm expecting from the opening night, but we'll talk about open night later. I feel like Giannis and the Bucks are set in stone. This is a championship contending team. I don't care what they did out west. This team is a championship contending team. Injuries, yes, it was the most healthy team who won, but this team still had to do it. It was still not a cakewalk. It was still like you've got to grind for it, and that's why I feel like the Bucks is not going to let up. The Bucks doesn't feel like their identity doesn't show me we're going to just cruise past. We're going to walk past. We're just going to get the 5th seed and no, we can beat everybody else. They love to be the underdogs. They love to be the underdogs and show that we are real. And also with the Bucks, they're deep. The Bucks is one of the deepest teams in the league too. You got Grayson Allen as a good pickup. You got Dante DiVincenzo coming back. You got Pat Connaughton. All the players George Hill expect to take that second-year leap. Not second-year leap, but the next-year leap of let's go. We're trying to win the championship again. Coming in with that mentality of winning. With that, led by Giannis, I feel like this team is undoubtedly a top 2 seed, ceiling, NBA Finals, NBA champs, floor, Eastern Conference round, ECF. Simple. Next, we move on to one of my favorite teams. Not my favorite team. One of my favorites, the Miami Heat. Fell in love with the Heat back in Dwayne Wade's time and that era. But I say the Heat, 3rd seed. The additions they made were huge. Kyle Lowry, PJ Tucker. Kyle Lowry and PJ Tucker are 2 huge pieces to the championships. If you don't believe it, look at what Kyle Lowry did in Toronto and also look at what PJ Tucker did in Milwaukee and guarding KD and just making KD hard making it hard on him. Not making KD, making it hard on KD, trying to eliminate him from certain parts of the game, just trying to do the best on one of the best players in the world. Miami Heat already shown that they can win 2 years ago or a year ago basically against the Lakers going to the finals. You can say that was a fluke here because it was the bubble, but they had to do it. Somebody had to do it. The Heat did it. And also they faced Milwaukee again. Even though this one was a convincing sweep, I feel like Jimmy Butler has somebody who can rely on to play make, also to score. Also, to score the ball, Kyle Lowry is that playmaker and scorer. Jimmy Butler can focus on locking up better defensively, being that leader more than just having to worry about doing everything because last year he was everything to the Heat. Scorer, rebounder, defender, playmaker. It's a night off where if Jimmy's not playing, they might lose. Like, real talk. So I feel like now adding Kyle Lowry, release some of that pressure. Bam Adebayo, come on, Bam. Time to show if you're a top 3 center or not. Okay, not that far, but if you're a top 5 center in this league, show us the time. It's right now. Show us. You have a true point guard who can get you the ball, who will open up your game even more from shooting from corners, shooting mid ranges more, free throw percentage, pick and roll lobs. Just he's so dynamic. Kyle Lowry is so dynamic to this team, and he fits that grit, that you got to work hard. It's not for everybody lifestyle over here in Miami. So he fits it. This makes them one of the best defending teams in the league. They're going to set their hats on defense. Offense going to come. Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero, Kyle Lowry is going to be that offensive unit. Of course, with Jimmy Butler. But that's when they're going to rely on their offense. But defensively, this team is scary. And they can match up with anybody. I feel like if it's a tier, if I had a tier, just right now, of course, the Nets and the Sixers are up there. No, sorry, the Nets and the Bucks is up there. Top tier NBA champs type. But the Heat is right under. Like, maybe 2 bad nights, I see you, and you play bad, we take those 2 games, and now we just got to win. That's how good Miami, and that's how dangerous Miami is. The next team we're going to talk about is the team that shocked the world last year, having one of the better records, 41-31, tied with the other team we're going to talk about next. But right now, we're talking about the New York Knicks. One of the better coaches in the league, coached well, coached hard, never take a night off. If you take a night off, you're not a part of this team. Grinded out every game. They got better. Julius Randle took a pay cut. You bring in Kemba Walker. You bring in Evan Fournier. Don't look up his last name. RJ Barrett's going to take that leap. Mitchell Robinson comes back as a defensive anchor in that paint who can help Julius Randle. Even though Julius Randle is not a bad defender, who can help Julius Randle. This team has just gotten better. I don't know what else you can say about this team. This team is really, it's not going to shock nobody no more. You can't sleep on the New York Knicks. You can't come in the building, this is going to be a game we can win. Because some teams thought last year, okay, they were getting lucky. No, they were legit. They were tough. And that's not going to change. Bringing in Kemba Walker and Evan Fournier, that's not going to change anything. They're still going. The Knicks are just that team. Nothing else to say about the Knicks. I can see them being the 4th seed, right behind Miami, a couple of games back. Then we move on to the team that knocked off the Knicks, and I have them lower for this reason. Health. I feel like they're not going to run Trae Young through the mud. They're just going to be good to make the playoffs, and then that's when they're going to be like dangerous. Trae Young, MVP candidate type player in the next 3 years. So why is that important right now? Trae Young is that guy now. Trae Young showed that he is about that. He can be the best player in your offense, and he can lead you to an ECF, maybe a finals, depending on who they face. But Trae Young and the Hawks, they're dangerous. They're real. Nate McMillan is showing them boys how to win, how to play basketball as a team, as a unit, just not the Trae Young show. Showing that if we don't have our best player and DeLon Wright has to come in, their addition, DeLon Wright, Sharif Cooper, if anybody has to step up, they're ready. I'm expecting to see a big year leap from Cam Reddish. DeAndre Hunter is healthy now, which they missed out in the playoffs a lot. Hunter is a great defender, great three-point shooter. So they missed out on DeAndre Hunter. They got John Collins, which was the biggest question mark of their offseason. What they're going to do with John Collins. I'm happy they made an agreement to sign John Collins to a 4-year deal. Clint Capella is going to do what Clint Capella does. And what I like about the Hawks is the pick and roll offense. Trae Young and Clint Capella, Trae Young and John Collins, it's just beautiful. I feel like they got that it factor in the pick and roll. It just works, and it always will work. If I need a bucket, just go to the pick and roll. Trae Young, John Collins, come on. Trae Young, Clint Capella, come on. It just works. Bogey and them boys. Still got Lou Will. So this team, again, is deep. For a lot of these top 5, top 6 teams are deep. And they will make noise. Right beneath them, my 6th seeded team is Chicago Bulls. Woo, woo, them boys. Lonzo, addition. DeMar, addition. Alex Caruso, addition. And them other boys. This team is dangerous. Again, for these top 6 teams, they're dangerous. Can't sleep on them. I see them as a 6th seed because of they got talent. As long as you got talent, you're going to be good. You got DeMar DeRozan, one of the better playmakers in this league. San Antonio really showed that he can be a playmaker, even though people don't watch San Antonio or watch San Antonio games. If we got any San Antonio fans, shout out to y'all. But not a lot of people see San Antonio play and see how good DeMar DeRozan is and was and still is. DeMar DeRozan can run an offense, has the playmaking. We already know about his mid-range is butter. Obviously, the three-point shot needs a little work. Should he stop attempting them? It depends. Then you got the star of the show, Mr. Zach LaVine. Mr. LaVine, Skywalker, efficient. When I think of LaVine, I think efficient. One of the most efficient three-point shooters in the league. One of the most efficient finishers around the rim, mid-range scoring. Just a bucket, a scary bucket at that. And with Vucevic down low in the post, this team offensively should be one of the best offensive in the league. Top 10 at least. I feel like that's enough they need to be a top 6 seed, to be in that playoffs. Not to play in, but playoffs. That's all they need to be. That's how dangerous they are offensively. And defensively, they don't slouch either. Lonzo, one of the better perimeter defender guards we have. Alex Caruso, who shows he loves to play defense. He's just he's more than Alex Caruso or a meme or whatever. He's shown that I do this. Patrick Williams, next year jump, shows that he's going to be a good defender. We've seen what he is. He will not be asked to score a lot. Most likely, I see him developing into a 3-and-D guy, and then if it goes somewhere, you go deeper into it. But right now, they got something in Chicago to be happy for. And then that bench is still good with Kobe White, Kobe and Caruso. I like that. You got the scoring punch of Caruso. No, you got the scoring punch of Kobe White, and then the defensive mind of Alex Caruso. That should be good enough for that backcourt to survive when Zach LaVine and Lonzo Ball is off the court. And that team is fun. Billy Donovan coaching in his team. He's going to coach. I really depends on how high they can finish is on Billy Donovan. Of course, it's going to be them first couple of games where they mess up, hiccups, because it's basically a new roster of big talent, not just bench talent, just big talent. So that always is a filling out process. I feel like they're going to fix that quickly. DeMar DeRozan showed that he can fit in an organization where he doesn't have to be the focal point. He can just be that player. Made a couple times in San Antonio in the playoffs, so I don't feel like it's going to be any different here in Chicago. He wants to be in Chicago. He wants to be in Chicago because of that money, but I feel like he also wants to play there. So that's why I feel like the Bulls have a good chance to be a 6th seed, and that's my dark horse to just maybe upset some teams. But Chicago is the dark horse for my 6. Now we get into play-in. If I'm not wrong. Play-in now. Boston. Boston Celtics, I see being the play-in team. With the Boston Celtics, you can't bet against Jason Tatum at this point. You can't bet against Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. These two are dynamic of duos we know right now in the league. Top 10 dynamic duos in the league. These two are deadly together. What scares me is health. If one of them goes down, the season is basically over. You were stuck in a play-in team. You might can jump higher, but right now I'm banking on Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown to be healthy. But again, the East is so loaded with talent, and that just affects them differently than other teams. If one goes down, if one of the star players goes down, I don't feel like nobody on that team can back it up. They got Marcus Smart running the run now, something that he said he wanted to run and felt like he should have ran. But, you got Kyrie. You're not going to say no to Kyrie. You got Kemba. You're not going to say no to Kemba. So Marcus Smart is that 2 guard. Now he runs the 1. We're going to see how he facilitates that offense, having a ball in his hands more, spacing and the pace of the game. Brad Stevens is no longer the head coach. He got bumped up, and I feel like I'm going to botcher this name, but Ameki Okdu is the coach of the team. Sorry if I botched the name. Correct me in the comments below. I'm talking about comments below. Like if you like it right now. You gotta like something a part of it. You almost 30 minutes in, you gotta like something part of it. But back to the Celtics. Their additions, it's tough. You got Josh Richardson, dropped off from Miami to Philly to Dallas. Like, I don't know what else to say. Not as efficient a 3-point shooter as he was. He was a guy back then where we're looking like, okay, he could be a second, third player to an offense. Now he has to choose, can he even be a third, or is he just a solid role player? At this point, he's not even solid. Tim Hardaway and Dallas really showed that he's solid. Josh Richardson blew that chance. But again, this is for the Celtics. The Celtics, what can we talk about the Celtics? Celtics really got to rely on them 2 stars. Their center bench rotation is alright. Al Horford, Robert Williams, and it's Cantor. We know what they give. We know what each of them give. Nothing special. This is the type of front court that you see elite premier bigs, maybe a good big say, all right, nobody can stop me on this team. Let's go to work. But again, we know what they are. We're really banking on how good Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown is going to get us. Like we're as good as Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Simple as that. You got D. Schroeder, fumbled the bag, came up to Boston. This is a great spot for him. Not all the bright lights here. Just got to be consistent. Consistency and how good you are being consistent. 6-man role. That's you. You're supposed to, and that's what you need to be. My second play-in team, which is the A seed. The A seed, Pacers. Simple as this, Pacers got enough talent to be higher. I see him being an A seed. East got better. Pacers really didn't. No noticeable offseason moves. Just like Celtics had noticeable offseason. Payton Pritchard is showing better. Like, these teams above them is just having a better offseason, or players are shown. But the Pacers, we know what we're getting from everybody in that starting lineup, from Malcolm Brogdon to Miles Turner. That's not a bad thing, but that's necessarily not a good thing either. With this team, with the Pacers, we've seen mediocrity. Like, okay, I guess we're good here. We could be better, but we're good here. We could be worse, but we're good here. And I don't feel like that's not enough in this year's Eastern Conference. This is the year I feel like either they're going to move on from Miles Turner or Sabonis, because both of them are good, but they don't fit necessarily well together. But also I can't say that because they didn't work with a coach that they like. You got Rick Carr coming with this amount of offensive talent. We know he's an offensive coach. He's really good. You've seen what he did in Dallas with Luka, and you can say that's a product of Luka. He still got he still banged with the Clippers, banged twice with the Clippers, and almost won both times. Porzingis isn't that problem. That's the whole problem. But now Rick Carlisle's in a new coaching system. Like, he's going to bring a new coach system to Indiana, new philosophies, just different. It's something that need different. If you're not going to change the roster, change something. So coaching was the idea. Rick Carlisle's a good coach. Champion coach. He knows what it takes to win. I would like to see what he does with Sabonis and Miles Turner. He said he's going to stagger some of their minutes, but Sabonis is so good and Miles Turner is so good. It's hard to keep him off the court at different times, because that means one of them got to sit, but one of them got to play. But who are you going to put next to each other? That's tough. Are you going to slide TJ Warren down to the 4 because he's more of a slasher, and you can put him right next to Miles Turner to be the shot blocker? There's different ways this offense can work. Defensively, they're nothing without Miles Turner. I ain't going to lie to you. How good Miles Turner is defensively, it's just their saving grace, and that's why I feel like Miles Turner hasn't been traded. But they gotta feel like this season they gotta figure out a way to win high or trade somebody. It's not a season you can just be okay with mediocrity or just being okay. Miles Turner. Again, I love Miles Turner. That's why I'm talking about him so much. He's going to be the glue guy of their defense. Malcolm Brogdon, Karis LeVert, we know they got to see how those two mesh for a whole season. And I also feel like injuries was a big part of them. Like, all the time somebody was injured. It was not a game where you really saw everybody on the court. If it wasn't TJ Warren, it was Karis LeVert. If it was Karis LeVert, it was Sabonis. If it was Sabonis, it was somebody else. And I feel like we haven't seen the true form of all five of them in the starting lineup. Again, I feel like their offense could be a top 15 offense in the league. Just be enough to make it into that AFC, that playing game where you just got to, it's time to win. I feel like that's good enough. I feel like this team is really going to benefit from the trade deadline if that's moving for Ben. Is that moving for a Buddy? Is that moving for somebody who can bring a fresh new look on the roster? You already got the coach. Let's get the roster. My next team in the play-in, that's the 9 seed. And the team taking this spot is going to be the Washington Wizards. I feel like the Wizards still have Bradley Beal. That's still a play-in team. Bradley Beal is that much of a superstar and a dynamic of a game changer where if you have Bradley Beal, you're going to be okay. Now, depending on how they start, I feel like it's depending on how Bradley Beal's going to impact the season. If they start about 5-10, 3-10, more. If they start just bad, I feel like that's when they got to make a decision of, all right, are we going to let you walk in free agency or are we going to trade you for something so we can get something back so we can start the rebuild now? I feel like they can't be like, okay, we're going to do halfway here. We're going to wait till mid-season to see if we want to win all out, or you can't do that. Technically you can because of the seeding numbers in the lottery, how it changed from you're not going to get 25%. But I feel like you can't do that. You need a direction, and they have no direction. They did bring in Spencer Dinwiddie. Who's going to boost their offense, who's going to help Bradley Beal in scoring. Bring in Kyle Kuzma with that trio. The trade. Kyle Kuzma, KCP. They got solid to good players. Solid, average, good players. And then these trade packages when they bring in, not enough to solidify you as a seed, as a top 6, so you don't have to face in the play-in. Like, not to be mean, but I don't see you going that far. Hopefully, them boys, Bradley Beal and Spencer can prove me wrong, but I don't see him. You do get Thomas Bryant back for a whole season. Daniel Gafford was a showing of he can be that center that we need. Denny Avdia, we haven't seen a lot of, but I'm high on Denny. I like Denny. Denny will get more looks. Richie Hachimura is not coming back, so that's where Denny can get more looks. David Bertans, that contract, what you're going to do. He's a good shooter, but if he's on the court, he leaves you on a cone, an island, just you can score by. Again, opposing bigs will go crazy against that team. So I feel like the Wizards need an identity to show where they'll fit in this conference. If you want to be average, okay, but don't be surprised if Bradley Beal leaves. If you're going to be bad, trade Bradley Beal for some assets. And if you're not going to do anything, you're just going to let him walk and lose. And that's the worst thing you can do as a fan of the Wizards. If you're a fan of the Wizards as a fan. And as an organization, you cannot let Bradley Beal walk for nothing. Impossible. Because now you're going to be like, we lost all our assets. Even though we got a top 3 pick, we still lost on assets that we could have got better. This is going to show the year also of how much Bradley Beal is worth to teams and how much you will get for him. And the coveted 10th spot in the play-in. It's a lot of teams. I feel like can deserve it. But I feel like the Raptors is going to get this last spot in the play-in. Raptors believe it or not, they're still a good team. Drafting Scotty Barnes just made them better. Pascal Siakam had a down year from last year or the year prior. He had a down year. Pascal, I don't see that happening again. OG Anunoby, I feel like he's going to be the most improved player candidate. Gary Trent, I like that starting lineup of Dragic if you decide him, or Malachi Flynn. And the noticeable additions of just Gordon Dragic, Precious Achua, Precious Scotty. Those notable additions just shows like we still can compete, but we're not going to be the best team. We're going to compete. We're going to play tough every night. We're going to get a play-in spot. That's how I see it. I like their starting lineup defensively. That's a tough team to run against. Scotty Barnes, if he starts, OG Anunoby, if he starts, I can see you running small. If you're the coach, I'm drawing a blank. If you're Nick Nurse, I can see you running small with. If you feel like starting Malachi Flint, but you most likely won't, so it'll be Dragic, Gary, Trent Jr., OG, Scotty, and Pascal. That's a nice roster to come in with and come in gunning with. A great defensive roster. So it just depends on how good they believe they can be and how do you feel about them. Everybody else that I left out, I feel like what I left out was one of my favorite teams. I feel like they can sneak in for a playoff. That's a dark horse. That's not the point. The teams that I left out, for example, the Hornets, brief, love LaMelo. LaMelo is a great talent. Gordon Hayward is a good talent. How long he can stay healthy, that's the question mark. How good is their bench? PJ Washington situation, off-season and everything that's going on with him. They're young. I don't feel like they can bang with any of these teams in the top 6, and then play-in is going to be rough for them. It might be a couple games out, but a couple of games is going to matter for a young team, and I feel like they don't have that experience to get it good done with like a couple of games on the line. I'm not saying they're bad, nothing like that. Just more teams like the Raptors got the experience of, okay, we need these wins to get in. They can go get it. Also, the Raptors are like, they didn't play in Canada. Like, this is tough. And they have a whole, you saying home court advantage really don't matter. They play in Tampa. It does, definitely for Raptors, from the Canada. If you're a Raptors fan, all that matters because they're loud. It's hard to play in Toronto. It's hard. So them not having like always home court advantage, that's tough. I feel like they're going to bounce back, and that's really what their problem was. I really feel like, and of course the COVID protocol. Now to go to the teams, I'm gonna keep it brief for the teams who didn't make my top list of play-in or top 6. Briefly, starting off with the Hornets. No, we already did the Hornets. Sorry. And then the next team is going to be the Cavs. Cavs just not good enough. Lauri Markkanen at the 3. Come on. I've seen it. Doesn't work. I've seen it. Even y'all run it. It does not work. Please don't do that. Be smarter than that. Move on from Garland. Not Garland. Move on from Colin Sexton. If you're going to keep him, but don't do what you did this season. So find an identity, guys. And if you say 20 bigs is your identity, sure. That's not a good identity. That's not a good way to go about it. But sure, but find something. Cavs fans, besides the LeBron era and LeBron coming back, and y'all really had nothing to cheer for. And that's not me hating, it's just a fact. Next, Magic, y'all are terrible. Jonathan Isaac still not playing. Jalen Suggs is your bright spot. Markelle Fultz is a dog. Besides that, Wendell Carter, But Magic, just rebuild. Do what you do, rebuild. Tired of seeing y'all be in 7 and 8 spots. Do a hard set rebuild. You already did half of it. Just finish it. Please do not try to make a home run. Just finish it. Jalen Suggs is your franchise point guard. Please keep it like that. Then my team. Pistons. Yes, I'm a Pistons fan. Pistons. Come on, Cade. We got Cade over here. It's good time to be in the Pistons. We got Cade Cunningham, Jeremy Grant, good coaching staff. Pistons, please just build from the ground up. You already have a good foundation in Cade, Jeremy, Sadiq, Isaiah. Please just stick and don't rush anything. Just let it build from the way up, and then anything can happen. Didn't want to say bias, but anything can happen for any of these teams who didn't make my top 10 of your top number 1 to the play-in game, fighting for a spot in the playoffs. Now we move on to the Western Conference, which is a little bit harder, but the same idea. In the Western Conference, we have a lot of teams who got better, but injuries also plays a factor. But starting off as my number 1 seed, the Dogs. They just went to the finals. I see Phoenix being that number 1 seed. Starting off with Phoenix real quick. I know they're having problems with signing Ayton. Get that done. Don't think about it. Stop thinking ahead of time. Think of now. Get Ayton signed. You lose Ayton, you lose championship hopes. Please don't do that. You already got Chris Paul and Devin Booker. You need that center. Ayton is that guy. Don't be dumb. If you're Phoenix, please don't be dumb. Don't try to make a 10,000 IQ play and have it come out as a 1 IQ play. Resign. But for the most part, Phoenix came back with the same crew, and the same crew went to the finals. It was injury riddled, yes, but they were too. And again, my motto is, yeah, they did it, but somebody had to do it. It was them. They had enough times to get knocked out. They didn't. They got 2 games against the champs, against the Milwaukee Bucks. They did that. Don't take that away from them. They're still a dangerous championship contender. Noticeable additions, Jerome McGee got a backup center, so when Ayton is out, you won't get dogged. You're going to be talking about how good you are with getting Landry Shamet, re-signing him, Mikal Bridges, re-signing him. He's a big part. Don't sleep. Devin Booker, can you be solidified as that Tatum, as that next year or this year? I'm going to be that guy you're going to be talking about in the top 15 players, top 20. You're going to be talking about me. It's time for that time. We already talk about you, or I talk about you as you're that guy who can run an offense. Offense can be ran through you. I already talked about it. You're just a bucket, and it's tough to find just a bucket who gets it done at a very efficient rate. Chris Paul, that leader of that team, point guard, my favorite point guard in the league. And you just get it done. You get it done. This team is about getting it done. So just get it done. We signed Ayton. Let's move on. We shouldn't have this problem. You went to the finals. You shouldn't have this problem. Out of everybody in that draft class, he's the only one who went to the finals. Like, it had a huge role in it. Get it done. Second team, the Utah Jazz. The Utah Jazz. Please figure it out, Quinn Snyder. Please. My boy Donovan. Donovan Mitchell. Quick thing about me. I played 2K. I had a simulation of 2K where I had, it's like 2017, 18, whatever year Donovan Mitchell was drafted. I talked about Donovan Mitchell highly. I said he's going to be a superstar. He's going to be a star. He's going to be the franchise. At that time, I was Brooklyn. But I said he's going to be a star. I picked him up. He was a dog. In real life, he's a dog. I predicted Donovan Mitchell doing this before Donovan Mitchell was doing this. But seriously, back to the Utah Jazz. Figure it out. You brought in Rudy Gay. Great pickup. Eric Pascal. That was a smart pickup. So Donovan Mitchell, whenever he feels like you got Eric Pascal, they're friends, close friends. You got Hassan Whiteside, who can come off the bench. He's going to bring a Baroque version of Rudy Gobert, which is fine. I just need to see y'all get it done in the playoffs. I'm glad y'all became this team where we get it done in our regular season. I needed to get done in the playoffs. Granted, y'all were hurt. But y'all need to bring Donovan Mitchell some help. I get Rudy Gobert as a defensive anchor, and he's so good defensively with bothering shots and just being that pest. At some point, that's exposed. That's exposed. The Clippers exposed. Like, they did it. They exposed y'all. Rudy Gobert can't play. First in the 5-out team, space and pace, switching everything team. He really can't play. He really can't play. So I don't know. Find something, and I hope Eric Pascal and Rudy Gay is that option. So when y'all do go small, y'all can still rebound. Y'all still can defend the rim. I hope Rudy Gay is that option, or one of these dogs of that option. Love your draft pick, Jared Butler, I think, if I'm not wrong. Love the draft pick. Just get it done. Just get it done, please. The next team I see him being up there, La La Land. La La Land. LA Clip. I'm joking. LA Lakers. The Lakers acquired Russell Westbrook, who's their big offseason acquisition. You got LeBron, AD. I want to say this, AD, if you don't play the 5, it just be the best 5. I'm tired of, I don't feel like banging with 5s. I don't feel like going, y'all best chance is you at the 5 because you're dominant. You're dominant at the 4, of course, but you're that much dominant at the 5. Don't overthink it, AD. If you want to win another championship, you better play the 5. Westbrook relieves some of the pressure off of LeBron. He's 37, 38. Please do. Don't be dumb. Take better shot selections, better quality. You got AD. This is the best team, Russell Westbrook, you've had in a minute. Don't ruin this. Please don't. Please. I want to see you win a championship. This is your best chance to do it. This is your only chance to do it. I get that off the court and how I'm a champion that life. I'm not taking that away from you. You are. You're one of my favorite players growing up, and you still are. I want you to get that ring. I want you to taste what another NBA Finals tastes like, because it tastes so great. And I'm not saying I've been there. Of course, I haven't been there. But from your peers and how they explain it, it tastes so good. And I want you to get that taste of it. Lakers, y'all go hang your head on offense. I don't know how y'all felt against defense. Y'all always been the top defensive team in the league. I don't feel like nothing is changing from that. Y'all better be. But I don't think y'all know. You're going to be a middle pack defense, but your offense is going to elevate. So you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. You're going to be a 3rd seed. You're going to give it all. AD should rest some games. LeBron should rest some games. That's why you got Russell Westbrook in. Like your acquisitions on Malik Monk, Kendrick Nunn, Carmelo Anthony, Trevor Ariza, oh my God, I can't say his name. I hate saying his name. Sekou Demboya. There you go. Wayne Ellington. You a good team. You got a good team of accusations. Now it's time to work. Whew. That was a lot. So after 3rd, my 4th seed is Denver. We got Jokic, the MVP. MVP player, something that we'll never see or never seen ever again. A player who's a point center. We've never seen a point center. We're never going to see that again. A point center, really? MVP, Jokic, 3-point shooter, elite, sports placer, elite playmaker. He's a point guard at this point. He's just tall. He's a point center. Obviously, noticeable losses of Jamal Murray being hurt. Michael Porter, time to get us buckets. You said it yourself. I just need the ball more. This is your perfect time. I'm not only saying this because I drafted you in fantasy, but I'm saying it because I drafted you in fantasy also. 25 point per game score, nothing less. I see it. MIP winner. That's what you need to be for y'all to have a shot until Jamal Murray comes back. They're gonna ask a lot from Michael Porter. You did re-sign every guy you need to re-sign. Bones Highland was a great pick from the draft. I think that y'all picked up. I feel like that's a great pickup in the draft y'all got. Steal. Everybody's healthy except for Jamal Murray. Make it work until Jamal Murray comes. And when Jamal Murray comes back, you see what I did? When Jamal Murray comes back, gun it. This is your best time to win the championship right now. This is your window. Just dominate. My next team is the Dallas Mavericks. Luka. Porzingis. Y'all look good in the preseason, boy. Porzingis definitely look good. Porzingis. Be New York Knicks Porzingis. All-star. Good defensive player. Unicorn. Be that Porzingis. We find here in Dallas. Luka is going to be Luka. Sadly, y'all didn't make any offseason moves that was noticeable. You picked up Reggie Bullock. Sure. But, like, come on. That's like the Suns when they picked up Alfred Payton. Like, come on. Reggie Bullock is way better than Alfred Payton. Don't get me wrong, but Alfred Payton and Reggie Bullock is going to have the same role that they had in their previous teams, just on the bench. I don't think Reggie is going to start. Tim Hardaway is there for that. Reggie, just be what you are. 3-point shooter, okay defender, okay to good. Just be what you are. I need something different. You bringing in a new coach, which was Jason Kidd. With Luka, I need less isolation, more team basketball. But I get it because you're the best ball handler besides Jalen Brunson. But at that point, I'd rather have the ball in your hands than Jalen Brunson's. But I need team basketball. I just can't see a 5-out offense because it's so easy to dominate. Porzingis better be on that low post. He's 7'3" for God's sakes. He needs to post somebody up. He can be a dog if y'all let him be. I love Luka. Luka is a dominant player, of course. Luka, let's play a little bit more team ball. I got you win the MVP if you play team ball this year. I'm just saying. It's about that time. You MVP if you play a little bit more team ball. That's all about the Mavericks. It's just play better. Please. Play better as a team. New coach, new system. Porzingis post-ups. Mid-range shots. It's okay not to just be a catch and shoot from the corner. Be a rim protector for the most part. Y'all are tall. Y'all should have one of the... I ain't gonna say y'all should have because tall team doesn't have the best defense. Y'all should be silent on defense and elite on offense. With that, we'll move to the 6. Now we move to the 6. My 6 is... it's hard to say because you got the Clippers, Blazers, and Warriors. But those are the qualified 6 spots. And out of all the teams I trust more, and that's why I said the West are going to be a little bit easier but a little bit tougher because I knew my top. The 6th seed, I see the Blazers. Damian Lillard. Whew, talking about a person who can just take over a game. I rewatched that 55-point night and they still, oh my God, Dame was... At that point, it really made me think, is Dame more clutch than KD? And I can't believe I said that, but Dame really made me sit and think, like, is he that clutch? Like, he's really that guy. I need to see Dame win. Dame, I just want you to do this. If you don't win, get out of there, dog. You're too good to be just stuck in being okay in the regular season and getting bounced out either in the first or the second round in the post. You're too good for that. Don't join the super team, but don't join it. Just go to Philly. Go to Philly. You're not a super team, but you're a good team. Go somewhere. Go to New York. Like, go somewhere that you'll be able to be better than this team. But talking about how bad they are, let's talk about their acquisitions and noticeable upgrades. You bring in Cody Zeller. You re-signed Norman Powell because you had to. You had to do that. Bringing other Dennis Smith Jr. is going to be in your team for the foreseeable future. I don't know why you do that, but I guess. This team is really built on Dame, how good Dame is going to be. Dame is going to be good, so their team is going to be good. They're going to be a lot for the play-in or the playoffs. I think it's that simple. It shouldn't be any harder than that. At all. Now we move on to the play-ins. My 7th. And this, when I mean my play-ins, it can switch from any teams can jump and drop, but my play-ins are 7 through 10, so they can jump between 7 and 10. Same thing with my top 1 through 6, they can jump. But these are the teams I see being steady. These are the safe bets, as you say. My seventh, I see the Clippers, and the Clippers, I say the Clippers. Paul George is that guy. For people who riding off Paul George, he's that guy. I need people to stop playing like Paul George is not a guy who can lead an offense good enough for a play-in game or a play-in tournament or a 6 seed. He's that guy. He's that good. This team's deep. Injuries back. You get Serge Ibaka back. You bring in Keon Johnson. Terrence Mann gets another year of progression after how good he was in the playoffs. Reggie Jackson, he showed that he can be a playoff contributor. He's going to get better. All this team's going to get better. You brought in Eric Bledsoe for a backup point guard role since Rondo didn't work out. This team should be floating until Kawhi comes back. If he comes back, if Kawhi comes back, of course they're going to be like a play-in team, 6th seed, 5th, fighting. But I feel like when Kawhi comes back, you jump up to the top 3 seed because Kawhi is Kawhi. You're literally just banking on if y'all can stay afloat. Trade for John Wall also. Trade for John Wall. Make it happen. Make it happen. Because John Wall on your team will look good. And he needs to get out of Houston because they don't need him. Trade for John Wall. Please. Please. Make something. Get a dynamic playmaker point guard who is not Rondo. Who still can finish at the rim. Who still can shoot some. Just get John Wall. Make it simple. So when you go into the playoffs, you get a team with John Wall, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Nicholas Batum, and then Serge Ibaka. Please just make it simple. And just have Reggie come off the bench. That's a good 5. A starting 5, and that's a good bench with Reggie, Terrence Mann, probably Luke Kennard if he can play, Justice Winslow. Just make it happen. That's all you have to do. Get John Wall. We move on to the 8th. And this is just because he's not back. And I know a lot of people, Steph had a great season. How are you going to put him 8th if you're going to get Klay Thompson back? Klay Thompson is coming back. He's not coming back until midway through the season. Maybe April. We don't know really when, but he's coming back. Klay Thompson's going to come back, roll this team to a playoffs. They're going to be a contender or a tough out. They're going to be a tough out. Never better get Steph Curry. Steph Curry's that guy. Draymond, and you start shooting and be an offensive threat. Steph said he did work on defense, and Draymond said he's going to be a scoring threat. I don't know which one is that is going to be true. I got Curry being a better defender and Draymond being a better shooter. I really love Draymond, Michigan guy. I'm from Michigan. We already got that. I just need you to be an offensive threat. You cannot be not taking floaters in the middle of the lane for wins. Like, I need you to be a 3-point threat. You brought in Kuminga. You brought in Otto Porter. You brought in Moses Moody. You had an A+ draft. Now it's time to show it. You got Draymond. You got another year of Wiseman. Hopefully he develops into something better than he was last season because he was iffy last season. I just need y'all to be good. So when Klay comes back, y'all can make a run. Y'all can scare some teams. Y'all can eliminate probably Denver. Like, I need you to be that good. But if you want to be that good, Draymond, you got to step up. You can't just be okay. Yeah, we got Steph on that best. He's a better shooter. He's a best shot. Draymond, be an offensive threat before they just start doubling stuff every time. They just forget about you. You're great offensively. Your IQ is high. Your defensive IQ is amazing. I need you to score. A jumper, a floater, just something, Draymond. Just something. And I respect you. I praise you. I like you. You from Michigan. Again, Michigan native. You're my dog, bro. Always. But I need you to do something besides just being a playmaker. So, simple as that. My next pick, my 9th team who I feel like is going to make it as a play-in, I have the Grizzlies. Y'all got worse, though. Y'all really did. And it sucks to say that because I love Ja. Ja is that guy. Jaren Jackson Jr. Play the 5. Again, Anthony Davis was right. Just play the 5. I don't know why y'all picked up Steven Adams. Maybe because salary dump, but I don't know, man. I don't know. You're okay with him picking up that contract. Jaren Jackson Jr. needs to play the 5. He's more fit for the 5. He got the 4's body, but he's a 5. Dylan Brooks, great showed it in the playoffs. Dillon Brooks, just be Dillon Brooks. Desmond Bain, y'all got some hitters. Y'all really got some hitters. Help Ja out, help Jaren Jackson out. Play as a team. Simple as that. If you do that, you're going to win games. Y'all already showed y'all can be a force. You got to face them. You eliminated Steph Curry last season. You took a game from Utah when Donovan Mitchell wasn't here. Granted, when Donovan Mitchell came back, it was like, okay, they got it. But be better. Be better. In-house development, growth, that's all you really need to work on. But make the playoffs. I see you as a playing game, but make the playoffs, please. Please. Thank you. How deep y'all are is no excuse. Yes, you lost some of that depth, but how deep y'all are, it's no excuse for y'all not making the play-in playoffs. Y'all can make a run, surprise a team, be a dark horse, ruffle some teams' feathers. You're just that good. Ja Morant is just that good. So let's play that good. Whew. Y'all got some hitters too. Desmond Bain. Ugh. Xavier Tillman, I feel like he's under Brandon Clark. Please get better so you can play in the playoffs. Brandon Clark, thank you. Brandon Clark is a dog. Y'all got dogs over there. Just let them loose. Just let them loose. And finally, my last team in the play-in. And again, this can change. I'm just saying these are my predictions. My last team in the West in the playoffs. It's going to be Minnesota. Minnesota Timberwolves. T-Wolves back in the play-in. They're going to see some postseason success. And I chose Minnesota for this 10th spot because Cat. I feel like Cat is time. It's time for Cat to go have a breakout year with D'Angelo Russell fully healthy. Anthony Edwards, second-year leap. He already averaged 20 as a rookie. That's tough to do. And with that second-year leave, I feel like I'm expecting him to just soar. Maybe All-Star talks. Maybe a vote. Maybe not. Maybe I can see him really doing All-Star talks, but not getting voted in or not getting the vote at all. I like their addition of Pat Beverly. It's going to get that defense gritty. Going to show that it's okay to play defense. It's okay to be a dog. With also the addition of Torian Prince. Yeah, if I'm not wrong, Torian Prince. Shooting is a valuable need for this team. Pat Beverly brings that shooting, defense, that gritty mindset. I feel like he's going to help them be a better defensive team. Cat, I'm ready for Cat to start winning. Everything, and this goes off the court. Everything that happened with Cat off the court. This past 2 years been rough for Cat. So I'm ready to see him have some success in the league. Just in the league starting off. D'Angelo Russell has something to prove. They were a really good team at the end of last season. Malik Beasley, off-season drama, off-the-court drama, but I feel like he's going to come in and do what he do. They lost Ricky Rubio, but that was a big loss. But we're going to see how they fare. Not a lot of playmaking. It's not a lot of things, but it's a lot of enough talent, if that makes sense, to hit the 10th. New front office type. I don't know why they fired. Top of my head, I forgot who they fired. But they fired Karl Anthony Towns, and they didn't fire Karl Anthony Towns. They fired Karl Anthony Towns, one of his people he was growing up with for Minnesota and stuff like that. They thought everything was going smooth. They fired him for a whole fiasco off the court, not dealing with really basketball. But hey, there's the business, whatever. And the teams that I left out. The teams that I left out of this play-in for my predictions, again, anything can shift. I can see some teams making the play-in. You can make your vote for any other team making the play-in. Lost the Pelicans, Zion, obviously. Depending on how he plays, if he's healthy. You lost Lonzo Ball. Bring in Devontae Graham. I don't see that as a pickup. You bring in Steven Adams. Why would you do that? You need spacing. Valanciunas. Sorry, bringing in Valanciunas for spacing. My fault. Sorry about that. Bringing in Valanciunas for spacing, so that helps Zion. But you lost LaMelo. You don't have a true playmaker. That's going to be Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Kara Lewis. it's not a. I feel like he's a year away from it. Ingram's gonna be a playmaker. You don't want him to really do that. He's a scorer. You want him to put the ball in the basket. He can play, make, facilitate. And if you're going with that point, Zion, I don't like it. Zion's not He's not a playmaker from what he's shown me. He's a dominant force in the paint, but he's not a playmaker. Maybe I'm wrong with Valanciunas spacing, but Valanciunas doesn't take a lot of 3-point shots. He's a good mid-range post-up player. He starts from there, and then he might stretch it out. But I don't know. It was Plus they draft pick. It was We go with Sacramento. Like Tyrese, like off night as they call him. Davion Mitchell. Not to get it confused with Donovan. Davion Mitchell. De'Aaron Fox. I really want them to be successful. I'm a big Kings fan. I really want them to be successful, but I don't see it. Teams in the West got better. I don't think they really did. Drafting Davion Mitchell really doesn't say, we're going to jump that. Marvin Bagley's problems. Buddy Hield. Is he traded? Not traded. It's too many questions than answers in Sacramento. That's why I feel like I don't make it. Spurs, they can shock me. But with the DeMar DeRozan leaving, your recent acquisitions of Doug McDermott, Thaddeus Young, and also re-signing your players you need to re-sign on. You hit the rebuild. What you needed to do, fantastic. Thank you. Being okay is not good for San Antonio. They're used to winning, so being okay is not good enough. So hitting that hard reset, seeing if you go build around DeJounte Murray or you go trade him for that Ben Simmons again. I know Ben Simmons coming up a lot, but Ben Simmons is a trade piece. If you trade him, DeJounte Murray moves, something like that. But you get to hit the hard reset. You get a top 3 pick, most likely top 5 in the draft this year. Then we go to the Thunder. Do I have to say it? Draft picks. If Shea's playing good, they're going to sit Shea. What I'm scared about the Thunder is somehow you got to turn these picks into players, and players needs to play. So when are we going to start doing that? In Oklahoma, because I've seen they've really sat players who were doing good. Lou Dort had a long stretch of where he was just killing the game, shooting efficient from 3, playing good defense, averaging like 20, I think for a week or a month, somewhere in that period, and they just sat him. They gave him a second chance, and the last time I saw him was in the G League for some reason. So I feel like they really want to lose, tank, as you say. So if you're playing good, you're going to get sat. I don't think that's a good way to do it, but hey, it's a way to do it. I don't agree with it. But sooner or later, you got to turn them picks into players, and you got to move assets. I get it, getting capital and assets coming in for draft picks and all that, but somehow they got to turn the players in some way in the future. And the last team, the Rockets. Funny enough story. One of my friends, we talk about Rockets and Pistons because we both fans of respective teams. You got Jalen Green. Jalen Green is a stud. He's a franchise type player, I feel like. Same with Cade. Both of them are franchise type players. So getting either or wasn't a bad pickup. Jalen Green gives that swagger that Houston lost with James Harden. Now you got Jalen Green, you got KPJ, you got Kenyon Martin Jr., you got Christian Wood, you got Jashawn Tate. You got a lot of dogs over there who are young and needs to develop. I feel like this is the perfect year to do it. You have still John Wall. You're trying to buy him out or trying to find a trade. You're trying to do whatever. Like I said, just trade it to the Clippers. Take on cash. You're not going to need it for this offseason. You're going to be bad. You're going to be bad. It's just what it is. You're going to be bad. You don't need it for this offseason. Let them develop. Don't rush it. Take on some cash because nobody's coming to Houston this offseason. And then that next offseason when you're, all right, we got KPJ, Jalen Green, Christian Wood, Jashawn Tate, Kenyon Martin Jr., time under their belts, then you can start making moves. And this also deals with Eric Gordon. Get him out of there. Just let the young people play. This team is one of them, even though they're going to be bad, one of the most excited teams to watch. There's a few excited teams to watch that's going to be bad, like the Rockets, like the Pistons, like the Magic. It's going to be a lot of fun teams that's bad to watch, but just let them run. They're young, let them run. Simple as that. That's my predictions for the East and Western Conference standings and why I feel like teams are going to be at. They can change. If you got an opinion, drop it down below in the comment. We can talk about it. I know I didn't go over every team the same amount or least or favorite, whatever, but it got the gist of it, why they were there and why they're ranked. Now, finally, we're going to talk about the 2 games we have tonight. I won't be able to watch the games because I'm recording this, and it'll probably be over. So right now, the game is probably on right now. So let's talk about it. Nets, Bucks. Who I have winning is the Bucks. Giannis versus KD. James Harden, Chris Middleton, and Drew Holiday. Them all together. Kyrie's not playing. This is going to show how the season's going to start. This game is going to show how the season's going to start. See who wants it. And you might just say it's just opening night. This means a lot to the Nets and the Bucks. Because some people just say if the Nets were fully loaded, fully healthy, they're beating the Bucks and winning the chip. Some people say, nah, Giannis did what he did. Chris Middleton stepped up. Drew Holiday was a big addition. So it's going to show who was right, who was wrong. Of course, it's not going to be like, this is why we would have won the championship, or this is, but this is a good starter point of how this NBA season is going to fare. It's going to be a rough, grinded out season where every game really counts, because a lot of games are going to be counting. These beginning of the games, you have to win. Either team, you have to win these beginning of games, easy games, definitely against bad teams. So you have to win these games. Home court advantage means a lot. We've seen it done in the playoffs from Milwaukee. Home court advantage means a lot to them. Now we go over to the West Coast. We see Warriors, Lakers. Go see how Westbrook fits. Game 1, LeBron, Westbrook. We're going to see how they fit. I don't know if any injury reports happen. I don't know who's playing or who's not. So we're going to see. We're going to see how Westbrook meshes with the team. We're going to see how if AD is going to play the 5. If AD is going to play the 5, LeBron. See how he's at. If he's going to slow it down, which I really want him to. I see him averaging like 23, 24. Just keep it smooth into the playoffs. Then that's when we need Bron. But Lakers, we're going to see how this new roster of offense and barely no defense handles. We go to the Warriors. We're going to see Steph Curry. Like Steph. We're going to see Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody most likely. See how the rookies fare out versus the Lakers, a championship roster for opening day. This is also going to show if Draymond's going to shoot the ball. I'm betting no, but Draymond could surprise me. Draymond said he wants to be a scoring threat. You got to shoot the ball to be a scoring threat. We talked about it when we were talking about the Warriors. We're going to see if Wiggins can get better. He was there first season, really good defensively. It's pretty solid. Offensively, he still has all the capabilities being a 20-point game scorer. We've seen it. He done it. Just want to see. Then we're going to see, of course, Stephen Curry. Also, sorry, I forgot to mention Jordan Poole. We'll see what he is about. He went off in the preseason. We're going to see if he can carry it over into the regular season because they'll need it for a 6-man role. We'll see what this team is like without Klay Thompson. And what it can be when you drop Klay Thompson and they're healthy. And then we're going to see Steph. I know I veered from Steph to talk about Jordan Poole, but Jordan Poole needs to be talked about. He played excellent in this preseason. But Steph Curry, we're going to see what he can do until Klay comes back and his running mate. The second half of the Splash Brothers come back. Steph, I'm predicting to just have a field day. It's to a point where they're playing boxing one against Steph. And Steph is killing it still. Steph is just amazing. We get to see we just get to see basketball played again. And I feel like that's the main reason why we are all excited for today. We get to see basketball played from the West Coast teams to the East Coast teams. Both of them big-time teams, big-time media, news outlets, all that. We get to see all of it. The NBA season is here, and I just can't wait. This has been the first episode of Game Time Rewind GTR Podcast. If you enjoy, hit the like button, subscribe, and comment if you have anything you want to talk about in the comment section below. We can talk, we can have a debate, we can have whatever. Just be active. Again, my name is Daniel, and peace.